My name's Janet Tait, and I think 1978, a friend of mine named Rachael persuaded me that this was a place I could go and meet other really strange, weird people like me. And he was right.
Live long and prosper. My name is Sean Tario. I go every year.
One of the people that I got to meet is one of my heroes, Mark Hamill.
I got to shake hands with, as well as take a photo with Lou Ferrigno.
And I remember being there one time with my husband, and there's Thor and Loki, basically, just hanging out behind on the loading dock. Boy, they're cute. At the time, I was in love with a comic book called Elf Quest, which was one of the original independent comics. And I got to meet them and get them to sign my comics. And it was the most wonderful thing in the world. This was back when there were only about 1,000 to 1,500 people at Comic-Con.
It's literally like a football field worth of goodies to buy and see. There's almost no fandom that you cannot find there. Comics to video games to anime, cartoons, nerdvana.
It is the most creative place I've ever been.
I grew up in Michigan. If you want to try and find an anime store out there or anything, it won't be there. At Comic-Con, they literally have everything. Like,
when I go to Comic-Con as a writer, I don't just go to writing panels. I go to something about, say, storyboarding for video games. I might go to a panel on the costumes of Black Panther or music used in science fiction TV shows because I'm going to learn something different than what I already know. And it's all that creativity from so many different areas brought together that makes Comic-Con what it is.
At Comic-Con, I don't really have role other than patron and fan.
I started working there in 1980 for the films program.
I've done Loki in his really nice suit.
And ran the film program from 1984 to 1986.
Loki in his whole battle armor. I had that custom made.
I ran programming from 1986 to 88.
Link from The Legend of Zelda.
VP of Events.
Zeus from Gravity Falls.
I did the very first website for Comic-Con.
This year I'm going to be going as Bob from Bob's Burgers.
I met a guy named John Rogers. And eventually when I graduated from college in 1986, I started dating him and eventually married him. And in 1986, he became president of Comic-Con. That's the hardest thing, I think, as somebody without tickets to get a ticket.
This year, went to the pre-sale, didn't get a ticket.
If you volunteer, and you sign up to volunteer very early, at that point you will have a good chance of getting in.
That was very disheartening.
For the lottery, what I've seen people do is get with groups of people, and they all go in together, and whoever gets in gets the tickets for everybody.
Hopefully, I don't see it leaving San Diego. So if you hear this, please expand the convention center.
No physical space can handle doing something like this and growing forever. Physical space has a limitation. So I think things have to turn more virtual in a way that more people can participate and feel like they're there. And I think that's part of the goal of the Comic-Con Museum that's starting in Balboa Park, is to have a 365-day Comic-Con that people can not only go to physically, but also experience virtually. And I think that's something that is going to be a really major part in what happens to Comic-Con in the next 50 years.
Or bacon cheeseburger, bacon extra crispy, burger well done.
Play with them? Yes, I play with them.